Hello everyone, myself Dushyant Singh, and in this video we are going to study about the classification of elements and periodicity in properties of learning outcomes which are expected from this video or the chapter are first the need of classification, why we need to classify the elements. Then genesis of classification of elements. That is how the modern periodic table evolved from the attempts of the previous scientists. IUPAC nomenclature of elements with atomic number greater than 100 is our next learning outcome, and the need for it, why it was required. After that, we will study about the electronic configuration of elements and their relation with periodic table. Then the electronic configuration and the types of elements, that is in which group, which block they are placed, that is S, P, D or F blocks. After that, we are going to study about the periodic trends in physical properties, atomic radius, ionic radius, ionization enthalpy, electron gain enthalpy and electronegativity. And after that, we'll study about the periodic trend in chemical properties. First of all, let us begin with the need of classification of elements. Till 1800, only 31 elements were known. This number increased to 63 by 1865. And as all of us know, all 118 elements are being discovered or invented by now. With such a large number of elements, it is very difficult to study individually the chemistry of all these elements and their compounds. And obviously, they are a very large number. So, to ease out with this problem, the scientists searched for a systematic way to organize their knowledge by classifying the elements. Now, the genesis. During the 19th century, more and more elements were discovered, due to which the need of classification was felt. And many scientists tried to classify the elements on the basis of their properties. The first scientist to do so was Lavoisier, who in 1789 classified elements as metals and non-metals. And after that, many scientists proposed their methods of classification, and some important one are discussed in this video. First, the Bonnier law of triads. In 1829, he classified some elements into group of three, which he called triads. And according to the law of triads, nature consists, nature contain triads of elements where the middle element has properties that are an average of other two members of the triad when ordered by the atomic weight. And also, the atomic weight of the middle element was about halfway between the atomic weights of the other. This is an example of some triads which he proposed. Next was Newland's law of octaves. He proposed that any given element will exhibit analogous behavior to the eighth element following in the table. And in 1863, he arranged the then known 56 elements and proposed that if the chemical elements are arranged according to the increasing atomic weight, then the elements with similar physical and chemical properties occur after interval of 7 elements. And he also pointed out that every eighth element in this group shared a resemblance and suggested an analogy with the intervals of the musical scale. This is the Newland law of octaves, and indeed, Newland was first to publish the list of elements in increasing order of atomic masses, which was followed by many other scientists later on. Then came Luther Mayer's atomic volume curve, and Luther Mayer noted that if the elements were arranged in the order of their atomic weights, they fell into groups of similar chemical and physical properties repeated at periodic intervals. And according to him, if the atomic weights were plotted as ordinates and atomic volumes as abscissa, the curve obtained a series of maxima and minima. The most electropositive elements appearing at the peak of the curve in the order of their, and this is an curve, that is the Luther-Mayer atomic volume curve, which he plotted. Then came the Mendeleev's periodic table, and in 1869 Mendeleev published a table of elements organized by the increasing atomic masses. Only 63 elements were known at that time, and his periodic table consisted of 8 vertical columns known as groups and 7 horizontal rows known as periods. And he stated a periodic law according to which the physical and chemical properties of elements are periodic function of their atomic weights. This is the Mendeleev's periodic table, which he published in 1905. Now, the Mendeleev's periodic table has some merits. First, it was a systematic, it provided the systematic study of elements. It helped in the prediction of new elements and also the correction of atomic masses. There were certain demerits in Mendeleev's periodic table. First, the position of hadron was not clear. Position of isotopes was not clear. There were certain anomalous pairs, that is, the element with larger atomic mass was placed before the elements with smaller atomic masses. Then, chemically dissimilar elements were grouped together, and chemically similar elements were placed in different. Mendeleev's periodic table was published in 1905, when no one had an idea of the structure of atom. Even though the electron and proton was discovered, but the structure of atom was not proposed at that time. And the Mendeleev's name has been immortalized by naming the element with atomic number 101 as Mendelevian, and it was done by the American scientist Glenn T. Sieberg, who discovered this element. And he said, in recognition of the pioneer role of the great Russian chemist who was the first to use the periodic system of elements to predict the chemical properties of undiscovered elements, a principle which has been key to the discovery of nearly all transuranic elements. Now, modern periodic table and modern periodic law. English physicist Henry Moseley observed regularities in the characteristic X-ray spectra when he plotted the frequency of X-rays versus atomic mass. There was no such regular curve, or he cannot obtain a regular curve. However, as soon as the atomic mass was replaced by atomic number, now the curve which was obtained was a straight line. So he proposed that the atomic number is a more fundamental property as compared to atomic mass. An atomic number, as all of us know, it is the number of protons which are present in the nucleus of any atom. And he thereby showed that the atomic number is the more fundamental property of an element than its atomic. In the light of observations by Henry Moseley, Mendeleev's periodic table was modified and is known as modern periodic law. And it can be stated as the physical and chemical properties of elements are periodic function of their atomic numbers. Modern periodic table. Many forms of modern periodic table have been proposed, and amongst them, the long form of periodic table is generally used. One such form which is generally used is this one. This is another representation of the long form of modern periodic table. Again, another method to represent these elements in the long form. Features of the long form of periodic table. First, it contains elements arranged in increasing order of atomic numbers. It explains the position of an element in relation to other elements. It consists of 18 vertical columns known as groups and 7 horizontal rows known as periods. And in this form of periodic table, 14 elements of both 6th and 7th period, known as lanthanides and actinoids, respectively, are placed in separate panel at the bottom. First, it contains 18 vertical columns known as groups, group numbered 1 to 18, and 7 horizontal rows known as periods numbered 1 to 7. On the basis of nature of subshells in which the last electron of an atom enters, elements are divided into 4 blocks. That is, it is the relation between the electronic configuration and the type of elements. It is the S block, P block, D block, and F block. S block elements. In these elements, last electrons enters the s orbital, the general electronic configuration ns1 to 2 or ns1 or ns2. It has only two groups, number 1 alkali metals and number 2 alkaline earth metals. Then all are metals with low ionization enthalpy, low melting and boiling point, and they are electropositive elements. And the compounds of these elements are mostly ionic. And next we have p block elements. In these elements, last electron enters the p orbital. The general electronic configuration is ns2 and p1 to 6. Groups are numbered 13 to 18, and it contains metals, non-metals, metalloids, all of them, and they are generally electronegative. And the third one is d block elements, and in these elements, last electron enters in the d orbital. They are also known as transition metals. Electronic configuration is n-1 d1 to 10, ns0 to 2. It has group numbered 3 to 12 with variable valency, high melting point, and boiling. They form colored compounds and show catalytic properties. F block elements, and if the last electron enters in the f orbital, they are known as F block elements, also known as inner transition elements. Electronic configuration is n-2, f1 to 14, n-1, d0 to 1, and ns2. And they are present below the periodic table in two rows. Lanthanoids elements after lanthanum, that is cerium to lutetium, and actinoids elements after actinium, that is thorium to lawrencium. They have high melting. Now, features of long form of periodic table. First of all, we will discuss about the representative elements. The S and P block elements together are known as representative elements. Then we have the transition elements. The D block elements are known as the transition elements, and the valence shell and the penultimate shell both are incomplete. In representative elements, the last electron enters in the valence shell, whereas in transition elements, the last electron enters in the penultimate shell. And the inner transition elements, the F block elements, in which the valence shell, penultimate shell, and the anti-penultimate shells are incomplete, and the electrons enters in generally the anti-penultimate shell. Then more features of this long form of periodic table. First, the metals. They are present in the left hand side of the periodic table. They are generally solid, malleable, ductile, and conductors, with the exception of mercury, which is a liquid, and also gallium and cesium, whose melting point is very low, 301 and 302. Kelvin. Then it contains the non-metals present on the right hand side of the periodic table. They can be solid, liquid or gas. And the metalloids, they are present on zigzag between the metals and the unknown. And we have merits of long form of periodic table, and it is based on the more fundamental basis, that is the atomic number. Position of elements is related to the electronic configuration of its atom, and due to separation of elements into groups, dissimilar elements do not form. In spite of having many merits, it had some demerits also. First, it was not able to include the lanthanoids and actinoids in the main body. Second, the position of hydrogen not clear. And third, the position of helium, which was kept in the p block elements, even though its electronic configuration puts it in the s block element. The nomenclature of elements with atomic number greater than 100. And to avoid the controversy regarding naming of newly invented elements, as in the case of the element with atomic number 104, which was named as Rutherfordium by Americans and Pursevertium by Soviets. The IUPAC has recommended that until a new element discovery is proved and its name is officially recognized, a systematic nomenclature be derived directly from the atomic number of elements using the numerical roots for 0 and numbers. And here is the method. There are digits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Their names nil, un, bi, tri, quad, pent, hex, sept, oct, and in, and their abbreviation N, U, P, T, Q, P, H, S, O, and E. And then if we want to name an element, then it is named as digits name plus em. For example, we have an atomic number element with 117. So for 1 it is un, again for the second one it is n, and for the 7 it is sept. So its name is unseptium, and the atomics and the symbol will be UUS. And this is the name of few elements with atomic number greater than 100. Thank you.